Hey, everybody, welcome to the third episode of Conversations with Musicians. I'm here with Zachary Garren. Zach, thanks for being here.
What up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's
All right.
Zach. I play guitar in the band Strawberry Girls, and I used to play guitar for Dance Kevin Dance.
You got your solo project too.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was working on some of that today, doing some bass, trying to get it all finished up in time, ahead of time this time, because usually it's like super last minute. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do an album. It's usually like stuff that's already like kind of finished, but like still needs like finishing touches. So I'm trying to do that ahead of time this time instead of doing it like the last week before I want to drop it. Makes it less stressful.
All right, so are you doing like a third one then, or like new
Yeah,
songs?
yeah.
Nice.
I got like 10 or 11, something like that. But I'll probably end up putting on the album.
I was wondering that because I saw like your other two came out on your birthday, right? I'm like, you gonna do that this year
Yes.
too?
Yeah, that's why I'm starting ahead of time, get a couple months start. Because, yeah, the first time I just had like a batch of songs and it was like the week of my birthday. And I was like, I should just drop a solo album with these songs, like this for fun. So did that. And then next year I was like, oh shit, my birthday's almost here. I think I had like an extra week that time. So now I got a couple months. So yeah, less stressful.
Damn, you did that in a week, like your first
I mean, I'd
album?
already had like a lot of the stuff I kind of finished, but I had to like kind of mix them and like maybe track additional stuff, just kind of like get them cleaned up because they were just kind of demos. So that took a little while to like get everything sounding the way I wanted it to sound.
So you obviously did the bass on it too. I was gonna ask you like
Yeah,
are the drums like MIDI and stuff too? And did you do the
yeah,
mixing
yeah.
and everything?
They're just like fake program drum samples, whatever. Yeah,
They sound pretty good. I was like
thank you.
questioning.
Thank you.
I was like, I don't know if like Ben laid them down or something.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're just program drums. So
Did you do that? And like Ben was, we were talking about like how he uses Pro Tools for recording too. And I was like, oh, I use GarageBand. And he's like, it's what Zach uses.
yeah, yeah. I use one of the old garage bands. I don't even use the new one. It's like because I've been using the old one for so long that I tried to use the new one and it was just like weird to me.
Yeah, just get used to it.
Yeah.
How did you sort of get into music and what like inspired you? Did you like start with the guitar? Like, I don't know if you play other instruments as well. Like,
Um, that's like the main one that I play. I started with piano, but I was like really young and wasn't like into it, so I didn't really learn too much, just like the super basic stuff, but like I can't read music or anything like that. And then a few years later, I got my first guitar and I was able to like actually kind of like play songs I wanted to play. Because like with piano, you're learning like a bunch of I don't know like old stuff or ragtime stuff or just stuff that like I don't know as like an 8 or 9 year old you're not really interested in musically. It's just kind of like an extension of school rather than being an actual hobby. At least that's how it
mhm.
was for me. So when I got the guitar, I could actually like learn stuff I wanted to play. So then it kind of became a hobby rather than just like more education. So I just wanted to like dive into it and learn stuff I liked to listen to. And then like yeah, you start small and then you kind of start being able to play more stuff and you just get more excited about it and kind of just takes off from there.
Yeah, I found the same like starting off playing drums like in lessons. I got bored of the songs really fast and then like
Mm-hmm.
just got out of lessons.
Yeah.
Almost want to make me just stop playing. But then you start learning stuff you actually want to learn. It's a lot more
Yeah.
fun.
Makes it a lot more fun. Yeah, definitely.
And then yeah, the next question I was gonna ask you, what's your like process when you're coming up with music then?
I just kind of like mess around, just kind of like noodle around on guitar until I kind of like hear something that sounds kind of cool. And then once you kind of like, I don't know, you kind of have like an idea in your head you want to get to, you kind of like mess around and hit all the wrong notes until you find the ones that you kind of hear in your head. That's kind of what I do. I'll just do that. Um, And then once you have one part, you kind of try to, I don't know, put it together like a puzzle and be like, all right, where do I want to go from here? I have like an intro and a big part, so maybe I'll do something kind of quiet or whatever. I like stuff that kind of like changes and flows rather than just being like at 100 the whole song kind of a thing. So yeah, I kind of just piece it together like a, I don't know, puzzle or a book or story kind of thing. But yeah, it can be hard definitely because definitely have writer's block sometimes. So uh, like one thing I'll do sometimes if I can't think of anything, I'll just kind of like mess around with the drum beat, and then I'll have like a place to actually start rather than just starting completely from scratch. So that kind of helps a little bit to inspire. But yeah, mainly just noodling around until something sounds cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably becomes more common to like the older people get in the music industry, like writer's block.
Yeah, but every once in a while I kind of like hear something and kind of be inspired and want to do something like based off a melody I heard or I don't know, something like that. So that can be one way to kind of piggyback off of someone else's idea, because that's kind of like what all music is. Like everyone's inspired by something, and even if they don't know it, it's like subconsciously, it's just kind of you're taking everything you've ever heard and liked, and then kind of just turning it into your own thing.
Yeah, even like watching a movie or something.
Yeah, or even just like there'll be random YouTube videos, and I'll hear like a couple notes in the background that sound kind of cool, and then I'll want to like do something with that and like extend it or something like that. So it can just be any like random thing.
Yeah, I was listening to like your solo stuff like yesterday after we talked, and then today too. I think it's in your track C Town. There's
Mm.
like the yelling like vocals or something right at the start. And it sounded so
I forget.
familiar. I felt like
Yeah,
you used it in something else before.
probably. Yeah. There's like some like little vocal samples that I use and we use in Strawberry Girls, just like in random random songs. But yeah, they get used a decent amount because you find one that you like a lot, and then you want to use it in multiple songs.
Yeah, your samples, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Ben about that. I was asking him how he kind of we were discussing like the fairy sound, like Navi, about how it's kind
Mm.
of his signature using a lot of songs, and he was saying that you gave it to him or found the sample or something.
Yeah, I was in some random like rap kit, like rap drum kit, just as like a weird vocal sample. I think we first used it on our song Beetlejuice on American Graffiti, from what I remember. And then yeah, I've just used it random places since. But it's in like a lot of random rap songs and stuff. There I had a playlist at one point, like anytime I would hear it in a rap song, I would put it on the playlist for fun. But it was in like a song by The Game, it was in a Travis Scott song, it's in just like a bunch of other random rap songs. I hear it every once in a while, but I still haven't figured out what it is. I don't know what it's from. I mean, I think it's from a Johnny Giuliano rap kit, maybe, but I don't know what it is, what it's a sample of. We tried to like find it, and I've asked around on like rap production websites and stuff, but no one seems to know what it is.
Yeah, trying to track down its origin.
Yeah, yeah, because everyone thinks it's Navi, but if you compare them like side by side, they're like a little different. So I don't know what it is, but it's definitely similar.
Yeah. My next question I was going to ask you is, what would you say is your favorite song, sort of from every project that you have been a part of?
Hmm. Um, that's hard because like I
Even
don't know.
like the B sides.
Yeah, because you hopefully like everything you make. Obviously, there's going to be stuff you like more than others, but yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, I would say like for my solo stuff, I think one of my favorites is um, I think is it the last? No, it's not the last song. It's on the first solo album. Um, it's called like "Fucked Out" or something. But yeah, I like that song a lot.
Yeah.
I've had that song for a while, and it's just I don't know. I really like the way it like hits in the chorus is super kind of like weird, and I was influenced by like weird electronic music like Aphex Twin and Radiohead and stuff like that, just for the drums. But yeah, just I don't know, it has a cool weird vibe, and I feel like that was kind of a weirder one that I did that kind of sticks out for me.
Yeah, like listening to them all the way through, like they all have a very nice flow to them.
Thank you.
I go somewhere a little bit shorter too, like just under 2 minutes. Sometimes that's
Yeah,
refreshing.
yeah, yeah. Because I don't know, it's fun to have long, crazy songs, but it's also fun to just have like a quick little burst of energy that's it's fun and you don't get like bored of it. Because there'll be songs I'm listening to and I'm like, oh, this is a long song, and I'm like, I'm only a minute in. And I'm like, how does it feel that long when it's only been a minute and there's like 3 or 4 more minutes to go? So yeah, I don't know. I like yeah, a lot of the stuff I do solo just ends up being short, just naturally because it's just like it's just me. So um, it's just I don't know, kind of more of a formula kind of thing rather than like if I'm jamming with Ben, we might kind of like go into weirder directions, or he'll be like, oh, let's try and extend this, or go in this direction, or try something like this. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of I'm just trying to get out like fun, catchy ideas to like entertain myself and then hope other people like it.
Yeah, I was wondering that like when your solo stuff, I know it's just like the timelines. I don't know if it was like a quarantine project or something.
Yeah, because the first one came out on my birthday 2 years ago, which was like 3 or 4 days, maybe a week before everything kind of shut down. I feel like I was out on like the 17th, and that was when we were like out and the businesses were getting notifications like, oh, they're gonna have to shut down like tomorrow. Um,
Yeah.
so it was out before quarantine, but it was still like I don't know, stuff was weird, and like I think our tour was definitely canceled at that point. But I mean, a lot of that stuff I had recorded within the last couple years or so, because it was like some of them were just like random Strawberry Girls potential demo ideas and stuff, and just random stuff I've had over the years. Because I'm always just recording stuff and then I'll forget about it. So even like with this album, it's me just like or the new album that I'm doing. There's stuff that's like years old that I just haven't released, and I'm like, well, if I'm releasing solo stuff, like this is cool. I may as well put this out there, just kind of touch it up a little bit. But yeah, just like tons of stuff on my hard drive that will probably never see the light of day. So I've been trying to get that stuff out there instead of just having it sit and, yeah, just do nothing. So like I mean like definitely the second one, some of the stuff I had recorded during quarantine. Um and even some of the stuff that's gonna end up on the new Strawberry Girls album was stuff that like I didn't know if it was gonna be for my solo, like there's stuff I thought were just gonna be solo songs that I showed to the band and they liked. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I wrote while just being at home, like not being able to do anything those first few months.
Yeah. Is there any other like songs off the upcoming Strawberry Girls album that were like that you've had sitting on for a while? Ben was
Yeah.
saying like Butterfly Knife you guys made
Yeah.
like in 2015 or something or 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. Right around then we did that. Let's see. Let me look at what's on the album. Find out. I forget. It's been a while since we recorded all those. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing you guys like
Um,
posting in the studio and you're like wrapping up and stuff.
yeah. So um a song we already dropped, the song Catfight, that intro we wrote 10 years ago when we first started being a band in 2011. And then I took that intro and was like, I'm just going to try to turn it into a song. So yeah, that's 10 years old. Um, a lot of this stuff is pretty old, kind of like yeah,
It
one
just
of
shows
the
you're like, I was
song,
that
yeah,
good
there's
back then.
we just have like tons of like a backlog of ideas and stuff that we've been sitting on. So we'll kind of like try to flesh them out and stuff, especially because Ben lives in Oregon. So it's hard to like, we can't like get together and jam that often. So I'll just kind of, I mean, like, so in the past when we did live like next or near each other, which was like the first six years of us being in a band. We had like our own little studio and stuff, like 25 minutes away. So we would be jamming all the time. So I would always record any kind of decent idea we had just to have, because if I didn't, we would just forget about it. So we would jam a bunch and then record a ton of stuff. So I have like hours of just random riffs and ideas. And then now, since we don't live near each other, I'll kind of go through those and see what stuff I still like after all these years, and then try to turn that into songs. And then, yeah, that's kind of what the process has been for the last like two albums, I guess.
Like the Italian
Like Tasmanian
Ghosts
Glow. Well, Italian Ghost
too.
was an older one, but Italian Ghost was the
Yeah,
last one we recorded together when we all lived in the same place. But yeah, Tasmanian Glow, and then our new album are both done like kind of remotely. We get together and record them, but they were kind of written semi-remotely.
yeah. I just ordered the vinyl the other day. It's like
Sweet,
it was
thank you.
like the last album that I needed.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, those ones are cool. I think they're like pink or something. That I like the way the vinyl turned out.
Yeah, like I love the artwork on like all you guys' album covers. They're
Yeah,
wicked.
yeah. The girl
You
who
guys
does that,
use
she's super talented.
who does it?
It's this girl, Callie Gregan.
Oh, okay.
Um, I've known her for a long time, and yeah, she does really cool stuff. So it's nice to kind of have like a artwork or artist partnership that you can kind of like have a consistent kind of product. They all kind of like go together, but they're different. But just all have like that similar art style. I think is fun.
Yeah. Dance Gavin Dance like does that too, right?
Yeah,
He always goes to the same
yeah,
artist.
yeah. No, it's cool because it all kind of, I don't know. Sometimes when it's just like a totally random album cover, like from album to album, it just kind of, I don't know. It doesn't just has more of a theme or like a vibe when it's kind of like consistent. I feel like it's like a recognizable kind of like branding type thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like you perhaps too, because Ben was saying that you guys both tweak with like Photoshop a lot, sometimes come up with like album artwork.
Yeah, usually I'll do like our single artwork. Some of it, like I did the butterfly knife one. I think he did the cat fight one. I did see done like for Moonwalker off Tasmanian Glow, Mini Ripper, stuff like that. I forget there was one other one that we did, but and then like I'll do our like tour posters and stuff when we have to do the like the tour announcement if it's us like doing a headlining tour. Sometimes Ben and I will like collaborate on something, but for the most part, I've done most of them.
Yeah, you guys like latest logo is pretty wicked.
Mm.
Like black and white.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
I
like the
dig
metal
it.
one or which one?
Yeah, I think like you guys were selling like sweaters and stuff in the summer and fall for your last like
Mm.
I think it was the last headlining tour, right?
Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah,
like Andreas.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A guy in Germany designed that.
Just hit him up on
It's like,
Instagram or
yeah,
submissions kind of
I
thing.
think I got no, I think I got it was just like an Instagram ad, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So yeah, his ad works. It's like, yeah, hit him up. It was cool.
Sweet. Next, I was gonna ask you. I've noticed like I have the majority of the Dance Gavin Dance albums too, like going all the way back to the newer ones. And I think it was like a couple albums ago, I noticed like you credited as writing.
Hmm.
I think it was Care. Forget
Hmm.
the forget the album name. But then yeah, I was looking back and I noticed that you've done like songs on pretty much every album for the last few at
Yeah, I
least. I
think
was wondering how that process happens.
yeah, I think all of them, all the Tillian albums except for Artificial, I don't know, Acceptance Speech, I think was the only one. But I did Awkward on Instant Gratification. I did a little bit on Chucky, on Mothership. I did stuff on Inspire the Liars and Fosse Dicky Bounce, and Care on Artificial Selection. Parody Catharsis on Afterburner, and then supposed to be on a new song on their new album, but I haven't heard the final outcome yet. But I wrote some guitar for it, so hopefully it made the album. I think they said it did, but yeah, hopefully it's cool. The song sounded cool, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like those are all the great songs. Those are ones that I really like. Flossie Dicky
Yeah,
Bounce is one of my favorites.
yeah, that one's fun. It's a cool one. But yeah, usually Will just like send me an idea, and then I'll just kind of like write over it. So he kind of like he'll start it out, and then I'll just kind of like I don't know do some leads over it or try to add some riffs to it. But yeah, he's definitely kind of like the main dude for sure.
Will is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That you guys still have like a solid relationship and stuff. Yeah, I was wondering like if you like came up with ideas maybe or like pitched them and or vice versa, or if you like went into the
Um,
studio when it was sort of the process of recording and
usually
tracking.
I'll get like a demo, an instrumental demo. But like for Parody Catharsis, Will and I met up and we were just hanging out, kind of jamming. And I only really wrote the intro and then the part right after it. Will wrote like everything else in the song, but yeah, for that one, that was more of a collaboration kind of thing. Yeah, usually I don't write the intro because he'll send me something that's already finished with like one guitar, and then I'll just kind of write over it. So that one was a little bit different since we did that one in person, which was cool.
That's probably like a completely different vibe being in the same room.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But it's also fun to write over the stuff he sends me because then I can kind of like mess around with it for hours and kind of find something that I like. Um, rather than just being like straight up on the spot. But yeah, I mean, both ways are fun to write music.
Yeah, I prefer to do that. Like I'll make some songs with one of my friends. He's like across the country in Edmonton.
Mm,
But I prefer when he like sends me stuff first and then I can sit on it and just practice
yeah,
and demo over top of it. And
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
being in the room is a lot of
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah, yeah. It's more freeing when you're allowed to just like mess up a bunch and suck for a while until you finally kind of figure out like, all right, this is what I want to do. Because yeah, you can kind of be in your head if you're like in person. Like, all right, I don't want to sound like too bad for too long. So it can be yeah. There's pros and cons to it.
Do you like tweak around and with like pedals for a long time too? And I don't know how many
Mm,
sort of guitars do you use or do you like typically
yeah, pretty
use
much only
one?
used yeah, like the one guitar I've been using for a really long time. Use it throughout like dance, Gavin dance. But as far as pedals go, I don't really use too many. Like the one of the main ones I use is a octave pedal, which I've been using since the band started, and that's kind of one of the sort of signature things I do. I don't see a lot of guitars. I mean, there's some that have the octave pedals, but I feel like I use it a decent amount, at least especially on our old stuff. Not as much on the newer stuff, but I still use it. But yeah, the octave pedal is like a main one, and then I'll just use that on simple stuff like reverb and delay, and like maybe phaser. I've kind of added in, um, and then I had like a weird wah pedal that I would use for like Moonwalker, but I try not to use too many pedals just because it can be like annoying to do live. It's just hard to like always having to be at your pedal board. You can't really be messing around, and I don't know. It gets kind of like complicated trying to like tap different pedals at a certain time on time while trying to like play on time, and it just kind of becomes like a little weird brain battle thing. So I try not to use too many. Try to keep it simple, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would do the same. I think I was watching back before it was like back when you were in the days of like touring with Kurt
Mhm.
and he was using like doing a full setup with the loop pedals and I'm like that's that looks like so much stress and
Yeah,
work just trying to nail that down.
yeah, looping is definitely crazy. I've never really messed with it live, because it can be super stressful, and yeah, I don't want to I don't want to mess with that. But it's cool. There's benefits to it, but I don't know. It's too much for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I just had a couple more questions. I
Yeah,
was
of
gonna
course.
ask sort of what's some of your favorite musicians? Like you guys are obviously one of my favorite bands. So I'm like super
Thank
happy
you.
that I get to talk with you guys.
Yeah. Um, I guess my favorite guitarist is probably Omar Rodriguez Lopez from Mars Volta and At the Drive-In. He he's really cool, creative dude. I also really like this girl Joanna Newsom who plays harp and sings. She's made one of my favorite albums of all time. She's super crazy, really cool songwriter. Um, yeah, those are definitely two of my favorites. And then there's I don't know, probably like a million more, but those two are my top two. They made two of my favorite albums of all time.
Try to collaborate with them if you could.
That would be cool, but I doubt it. But
Maybe
yeah,
one day.
yeah,
Do
never
you
know.
have any like collaborations or other projects coming up besides like your solo work and new Strawberry album?
Mm, I have an album that I've been working on. I mean, sort of working on for I don't know how many years at this point, probably since 2013, something like that. But with this girl Sarah Glass, who's been on a couple of our songs. But yeah,
Yeah,
she
I
lives in
recognize the
Hawaii
name.
now. Yeah, but yeah, she's on Volcano Worship and is that Shadow of the Moon? I think that's the song. Um, but yeah, we have an album together that is like one of my favorite things I've ever done. But hopefully we'll release it someday. We always talk about it like once a year and then forget about it. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things. It's really cool. But someday it'll come out. Hopefully, I finally released this project I've been working on for a while with this girl Kathleen Delano, who's been on some of our songs, and it's called "Me, Myself, and 3 a.m." That's on Spotify. It's a 3-4 song EP that we had for a while that we finally finished after years. But really proud of that. It's another one of my favorite things. I'm glad it finally got released. That was kind of like the same scenario, like wanting to drop it for years, but still had to like finish some stuff. So we finally did it, and I'm glad it's out there.
That's under, is it under your Spotify or is it under a different
No, I
artist
think
name?
just should be under Kathleen Delano. Yeah, it's under Kathleen Delano, Delano. It's yeah, me myself and 3 a.m. But it's
Sweet.
like a
I'll add it. I'll add
R
it below the
yeah,
link.
sweet. Yeah, it's like kind of weird R&B sort of stuff, kind of late night R&B stuff. But that's cool. I did all the music for it. Play guitar on it and did like keyboard and all that stuff. I recorded all of it and everything. So yeah,
That's
it was
sweet. It's like
fun.
a completely different style.
Yeah.
I just had a couple more questions. What was sort of one of your fondest memories that you've ever had playing live? I know you guys played like a late night television before, right? A couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was in 2016.
I want
Yeah,
to
I
say
think it was
like Johnny Carson
2016.
or something.
Carson Daly.
Carson Daly.
Yeah, you're close. Um, yeah, that was fun. I mean, the way they did it, they just filmed at a live show, so you weren't like on a TV show. You were just kind of like playing at a show, which was cool because then it was less stressful. You didn't have like I don't know the stress of like we got to nail this in front of this crowd or I don't know whatever kind of a thing. It was just like all right, we're playing a show to like real people, like we've always done. So yeah, kind of you don't think about it as much. It definitely made it easier, I think. And yeah, it was fun. But yeah, as far as most memorable, I don't know. It's hard to say because we've played so many shows. And, like a lot of them are really good. So I don't know. But I mean, basically, like anytime we go through Texas or Chicago, it's always really cool. The crowds are definitely crazy. So those are two places we really like playing a lot. But I guess I mean
Yeah, larger
maybe
cities.
the first maybe the first like Swan Fest. That was like the biggest show we've ever played, but it also kind of sucked because we had to drive all night to get to the show, and the show was like in the afternoon, so like I didn't really get any sleep, so I was just like not having fun on stage. I mean, just like trying to like stay awake and not like pass out, basically, which sucks because it would have been cool if we got like a good night's sleep and could have put on. I mean, we did a decent show, but it wasn't like any. There's no like crazy mess ups, but just mentally, I was like totally out of it because we had driven all night and like I got in a couple hours of sleep, and my brain definitely does not work that way. So yeah, that part kind of sucked because it would have been nice to be able to like really take it all in and enjoy it, but we still had fun. It just, yeah, it would have been nice to be at like 100 rather than like 10% mentally. So yeah, that was a crazy show. Really cool crowd. It was fun.
Yeah, I imagine that probably happens sometimes, like you guys are touring if you rotate driving or
Um, if it's like a long drive, the past, I don't know, like few years of tours that we've done, we've been hiring friends to drive to do like the majority of the driving, and then if it's like a really long drive, we'll switch off. But um, yeah, that one we had like I think it was like maybe Portland to no, where were we at? Maybe might have been like Sacramento to LA or something like that. But we had to be there early in the morning, so we had to drive like all night. But yeah, usually we hire the drivers so that we don't have to like trade off and like fight over who's driving. But yeah, that's always been fun. And then we usually hire like cool people, cool friends, so it's fun to like bring them along too. So yeah, it makes it easier on us.
yeah, that would be. Yeah, I think just the last question I was gonna ask, and then I'll let you like if you want to plug anything, tell people what you're up to. I've been asking this question like to wrap up for everyone. If you have any cool tips or anything that you'd want to share for musicians, like anything from like writing or cool tuning tricks.
Um, I don't know, it's hard because I don't really do any like weird tunings or anything. I kind of stick to E standard, or I'll do like drop D just because it gets complicated, like remembering all the weird tunings and having to adjust stuff on stage. But when I was younger, I definitely would mess around with a lot of like weird tunings and stuff. But yeah, unless you have like a ton of guitars, it's hard. But
Yeah, or like a tech guy
yeah, I mean, what?
or a tech guy
Oh,
just brings out
yeah,
your guitars for.
but yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the only tip I would give is like the tip I kind of mentioned earlier when it comes to uh like writer's block. If you can't like think of a guitar part to start off with, just try messing around with the drum beat, and that kind of gives you a little springboard to start off with rather than just having to go completely from scratch. So that's one thing that I've every once in a while, if I can't think of something, I'll just do that, and then you kind of have a vibe to work off of, and that helps if you can't think of anything guitar wise, because then you have a rhythm. So yeah, I guess that's my only real songwriting tip.
Have you ever like written a song based off like starting off with vocals? I feel like that would be like a whole different ballgame.
No, yeah, no, never really done that. Um, yeah, it's definitely
Maybe
a
one day.
whole other beast.
Yeah, then if you want to the floor is all yours if you want to plug away
Yeah, I mean, I
anything.
guess we have new Strawberry Girls stuff dropping. We have a whole new album recorded, but we're kind of dropping everything as singles. So we just dropped our song Butterfly Knife on Christmas Eve, and I don't know which one we're gonna do next. But yeah, we're also getting ready to hopefully go on a little West Coast US tour. But we'll see how stuff's going. I've been seeing some stuff getting canceled, but hopefully that doesn't happen to us. But that's supposed to start the 26th of January this month. And I also will hopefully have a third solo album dropping on my birthday, March 14th, in a couple months. So I've been working on that. Just trying to get that all finished up, so I'm not working crazy last minute. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Some solid plans.
Hell yeah, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, hopefully this year. I mean, yeah, stuff's still looking a little weird right now, but just with all the crazy new COVID stuff. But I don't know. Hopefully, who knows? Whatever. Just gotta take it as it comes and write and release more music.
Yeah, I would love to get to see you guys live sometime too. And I'm a huge fan of standards and floral as well.
Mm, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be cool if it happens. So hopefully it does.
Yeah, wish I can go.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. But I'll let you go. I'll put those tour dates down in the link
Cool.
below too, and then connect
Sweet.
all your tunes.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having Ben on. So
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
cool.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Of course, no problem. All right. Talk to you later, man.